supposed to do the intro this week, but I procrastinated, so now I have to improvise.
Wow.
Welcome to How to Be Human. It's a podcast where we overanalyze all the weird and uncomfortable micro moments in life. I'm one of your hosts, Evan Cox.
I'm one of your hosts, Chris Binning.
And today we are talking about procrastination. We both feel like we have talked about this before in an episode, but we couldn't find it. So.
Yeah. In fact, I still feel like we've done this episode.
In trying to come up with notes, I feel it more than ever. But I do not see an episode called Procrastination. So, I don't know. Tell us if we did. We don't fucking know. We're going to do it again. Deal with it. But before we get into that, we got to procrastinate a little bit. Because as Chris, I don't know how you're doing, and I would love to. We just talked for 20, 30 minutes. I don't know how you're doing. I asked you your thoughts on Phase 4 of the Marvel Universe.
Oh, and I had so many thoughts.
I asked your thoughts on the WGA strike. I did not ask you how you were doing.
I stand with the producers.
I stand with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Chris!
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm doing okay. For the record, I do not stand with the producers. They're asking for stupid things.
Hey! We both said stupid things at the same time. Lovely.
I did, speaking of stupid things, see a vanity license plate recently.
Could this be a spoof spinoff of Stranger Things? Stupid things.
Stupid things? Yeah, I think so.
Great. Vanity license plate.
Vanity license plate. I'm going to literally spell it out for you.
What? All right.
This, and feel free to write it down if you're more of a visual person. But it was MORT. Then it looked like a little space.
Okay.
R, the number 8, S. Now, to me, is this somebody who does mortgage rates? Like, what? Or is it mortality rates? Like, I don't understand.
I'm just a fan.
What
fan
it
of
is
mortality rates.
that this could possibly. What is the justification here?
I've
by
got
getting this license plate.
A different take on it.
Okay, great.
That was my initial thought. Was mortgage rates.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, not crazy. I know a lot of people will make a vanity. It's so lame. Just make a vanity plate off of the thing that bought them their car. And more, they're a real estate agent, and mortgage rates got them that bump. Here's my theory, though.
How many people have vanity license plates that say divorce?
Probably a lot. or boats. There are probably a lot of boats just called. Actually, I've seen them. I was kayaking around. There was a boat that was like it wasn't just divorce, but it was just like my wife's
ye old divorce.
So yeah, I don't know, my ex or like the ex-wife, something. I'm like, oh boy, you seem fun. I want to go to that.
I wonder why you
party.
got divorced.
Anyways, here's my theory: MORTRAS. You can see there's the space there. Rates, mortgage rates, maybe. I'm gonna clump it together. More traits. And I'm thinking
more traits.
You would think, but that's not where I'm going. I'm going to portraits, like portraits for the dead. This is a photographer that photographs dead people, much like Jude Law in Road to Perdition.
Okay.
Some creepy photographer.
I may have been driving behind Jude Law, is what you're saying.
And that would line up because, I don't know, maybe that movie it definitely lifted Jude Law's profile in my eyes. I was like, who's this creepy photographer guy taking pictures of dead people? So maybe he's clever. And he said, you know what got me this car? More tricks.
Yeah. And you know, like, of course that movie has the word road in the title.
It's true.
And he's driving on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's all coming together.
It's a good movie.
Kronk once said. Evan?
It's also a good movie. Yes.
How you doing?
Good. What's the through line between Road to Perdition and
Emperor's New
New Groove? Man, the titles that were running through my head were not that. Is there a through? What's the connective tissue? We got to find it.
Well,
maybe...
I mean, of course, Cusco and Pacha have to make their way down the road from Pacha's home back to the palace.
Yeah.
To overthrow Yzma.
They kind of take on a father-son dynamic too, like Tom Hanks and
Yeah,
his kiddo.
absolutely. I guess that's the through line.
I guess.
What if those movies swapped casts?
Yeah.
And it was John Goodman and David Spade in Road to Perdition as father and son.
Okay. Patrick Warburton's the Jude Law character.
Yes.
I love it.
I guess Eartha Kitt is Paul Newman.
Yeah. I could see that. She could be a big mob boss. This is a good movie.
This is good.
Here's what I've got going on. I'm doing good. Not what I've got doing on. Do it to Papa.
Not what I've got doing on.
Not what I got doing on. Here's how I do. I recently did. I know I keep giving updates on my thumb because it's all I fucking think about. I did get the injection. Much to the chagrin of my neighbor, I got a steroid injection.
No, did you tell them?
Into my thumb. I have not, and I do not want to. I don't want to have that conversation. That sounds fucking terrible. But I actually, maybe this is what I was going to tell a different story, but maybe this is the thing to talk about. In order to do it, it was a pretty big needle, which I don't like needles. We've discussed this in the past, I believe. I'm not a fan of needles.
Needles and spiders.
Yeah. Ooh, spider needles.
Spider needles.
That's a nightmare.
Spider needles.
Spider needles. Stick me in places I don't want to be stuck. Like my hand. So I was looking forward to this. Finally gonna get something done. It feels like progress. I had arguably procrastinated quite a bit. Now, did I procrastinate enough that it's worth telling the story later and telling my other story now? Maybe, but too late. We're too far. I can't go back. In order to, you look at the like your thumb, your wrist, the webbing in between your thumb. The space where the injection needs to go in is like right above that knobby little bone in your wrist.
Okay.
Now imagining getting a needle stuck in there. The second you really think about it, you're like, ooh, I don't like that.
I don't like that.
That's a complicated place to get a large needle stuck. It's complicated enough that they need a what do you call it? Ultrasound to see what they're doing. I got my first ever ultrasound.
Oh.
And they apparently have a small one.
It's a wrist.
Exactly. They have a small one for situations like this, like kind of a handheld situation where you can just like look at your laptop or whatever and see in there where the bones are, where the tendon is, etc. So you're making sure you're not hitting shit you're not supposed to hit. And I heard, she went out to get it, couldn't find it, and asked an assistant, like, you know where that is? And they're like, no. Okay. I'll grab the other one. So she comes in with it. She had to use the full, like, 1-4 babies. So it's this, like, big machine that comes in with it just to look at my little wrist.
There's the heartbeat.
Exactly. And you better believe I was ramping up to make a joke. And I
Yeah.
did. You bet I did. I was sitting there like, hey, there's comedy here. There's comedy to be made.
Here.
So I got, the goop, the gel.
From Gwyneth Paltrow?
I got Gwyneth was there. She gooped me. She gooped me. What can I say? I got gooped. Is that like punked? Just be gooped. Just
Gwyneth Paltrow
pranking people. I can't imagine what that would be. But Gwyneth coming out of like a closet and said, "You got gooped.
You got gooped.
I love this.
That candle's not made of wax. You got gooped.
You got gooped." Anyway, so the ultrasound is getting done. I got the gel on there. She's rubbing the thing on there. And I'm looking at it too, as if I were having a baby, where you would want to see it,
Was that Gwyneth Paltrow's skiing accident? Was that part of the Goop'd Frank show?
Oh, maybe. Maybe that's it. She takes it. It's like a litigation thing, and then when you lose, she says, "You got gooped.
You got gooped." When she wins her $1 in damages, or whatever she asked for.
I'm gonna push through this.
I'm asking for $1 in damages, and I'm asking that the judge let him know that he got gooped.
We have one thing we need to get clear. You've all been gooped.
You've all been gooped.
Ultrasound on my wrist.
Uh-huh.
When you're having a baby, you want to see that. When you're looking at your wrist, I was intrigued. I was like, "Yeah, what does all this look like?" She's like, "Well, there's your tendon." Blah, blah, blah. I had been sitting on it for a while, so I made the joke. Do I get like a printout of these I can send in Christmas cards? Something along those lines. She's like, ha, ha, ha. And then I kept joking about it, and she stopped laughing. I was like, "Come on, that's fine. I'm charming. I'm charming as fuck." So I know from getting my blood drawn and passing out, the last time that happened, I passed out and had to be revived, essentially, that I don't do well with needles. So I look away. I just know I don't like seeing the blood coming out. But that's not what we're doing here. We're injecting something. But even so, I didn't want to watch, so I looked away. But there's a big old ultrasound where you're used to seeing a baby.
Yeah.
And I'm like, out of the corner of my eye, kind of like, well, what is going on over here? I got to check this out. You got to look. Not at the needle.
You got to look.
I'm not looking at the needle. I'm looking at the screen. I'm looking at my wrist. But guess what comes into the screen?
The needle.
The needle, but it's like this big because it's magnified. And I see she's now taught me, like, here's your tendon, here's your bone, and you are watching someone play Operation.
Yeah,
and if the buzz is pain, and it does hurt, it really fucking hurt. And she started injecting it, and I started to pass out again. I didn't. I stayed awake this time. I held on as long as I could for her to finish injecting it. I'm feeling warm right now talking about it, but that's what kept happening is I feel warm, I get lightheaded, and then last time I passed out, and so I told her, like, I'm feeling a little woozy. And she's like, "Okay, we're done. You can lay down and beep, up, boop, boop, boop." But I'm like, blood wasn't being drawn. I don't think it was, because that, your blood is drawn, you pass out. That's a thing that happens to people.
Yeah.
This time I just passed out getting a needle stuck in me. I don't know if it was watching it and freaking out, like panic attacking or whatever. But I almost passed out again. I'm like, I think I was talking about it with her. She's like, yeah, it's not totally crazy that, like, having something injected.
Yeah, you wasted all that energy making the same joke over and over again.
You were sweating a lot before the joke.
You were like, I'm sitting on this joke. I gotta make sure that I get it out. I'm having improv flashbacks.
You were
I gotta get this joke to land.
You were very insistent that I'd been gooped.
But yeah, I'm like, where Gwyneth Paltrow is.
Where is she? But at a certain point, I'm like, does that just mean I am afraid of needles? Like, even if it's not like a fear,
absolutely, that's what it means.
I don't see a needle and like go, oh, I'm like, oh, watching it, oh no. But it's like it happening. I almost passed out. I don't know.
I think, yeah, as an outside observer, absolutely it means that you're afraid of needles.
I mean,
The very clear interpretation
I
that I
didn't
get from that.
I didn't invite this criticism. I'm not here to get
It's not a
gooped.
criticism.
This is a criticism. Now I'm weak. I'm
saying,
now the beta
maybe
host
this
of this
means-
podcast.
Maybe this means I'm afraid of needles, but I
Yeah.
guess I'll never know.
I guess I'll never
No,
know.
you do know.
And good podcasting would be if you'd said like, yeah, you're right.
Is that good podcasting?
That's great podcasting. Those are the podcasts I like to listen to, where people don't make a commitment to a statement and the co-host goes like, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, you're right.
Leaving it open to interpretation.
All right, listeners, if you think there's another way to interpret Evan's story, please let us know.
Oh my God. I'm
And
feeling
don't
silly.
Procrastinate.
Don't procrastinate on it. We gotta get this. We gotta get this.
We gotta get this.
Speaking of making bold statements on a podcast, we gotta
We
get
have
this.
to get this.
We gotta get to this. We gotta get to procrastination. And that's why I was talking about it. I was procrastinating getting anything done with it. Medical stuff, not to immediately start talking about this, but I don't have a whole lot to talk about today. Why? Because I procrastinated the fuck out of writing these notes. And I have one note. I'm a one-trick pony. But medical stuff for me is maybe the number one thing as an adult that I procrastinate on. I will push it off and push it off and push it off to the point where it's like now I have to tell the doctors like, yeah, this has been going on for 6 months. And they're like, what?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
like it's been hurting for 6 months? Yeah. Yeah, and I want you to fix it. Chop, chop. I don't know. And the thing is like I'm with Kaiser Permanente right now. They're my insurance I get through my work. So it's all in like one block of buildings just down the road from me, just over on Sunset. It never is hard. It never takes long.
Yeah.
I have no idea why still I like hyper procrastinate these things. I just don't. It feels like there's not enough time in the day. I convince myself there's not enough time in the day to. I don't even have to make a phone call with them. They have an app. I can make an appointment on their app.
Oh, I love that.
It's great. But even then, I've now learned that about myself. Like I will procrastinate it forever.
Yeah, you mentioned convincing yourself that there's not enough time in the day.
I do it all the time.
There's
so many hours.
Yeah, there will be things that like I know I need to get done.
Yeah.
But if I don't get it done before like 2 p.m., I'm like, well, it's basically nighttime, so I guess I just have to do it tomorrow.
This is a thing, and that is so true. I'll get to what I've been procrastinating on in a second, but like I do just maybe part of it is because A, I cook for myself, and B, I really enjoy cooking for myself. That's one of the things, if I'm not like exhausted, that is one of the things I really enjoy out of each day. It's like, oh, it's 6 or 7. I'm going to start prepping a meal. Hey, let's get going. Cha, 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 cha. But then it feels like I can't do stuff after that. I'm going to watch a movie.
Right.
I'm going to watch TV, whatever. I'm going to watch a fucking basketball game right now. Like, I can't accomplish things. That'd be stupid. Meanwhile, it's 8 o'clock and I'm going to bed at like midnight. Like, I'm not suggesting I should be working on stuff all evening. We all need some relaxing time, but it is kind of ludicrous that I shut my entire day off at like 6 p.m.
Yeah.
to any sort of progress.
Yeah. The thing, because I brought up this episode idea recently, I had phrased it differently than Procrastination, and I think it's because I assumed we had done Procrastination
Right.
already.
Let us
But
know.
you and I had been talking about the Comedy Bang Bang book,
Yes.
and how
Yes.
we're both fans of it.
Huge fans.
And for a while, if you pre-ordered it,
Yeah.
you could get a signed copy from the host Scott Ackerman, and then 2 random guests,
Yeah.
frequent collaborators,
Couple of
the
randos.
podcast. And you and I were both like, yeah, I would like to have that. That would be cool.
And to
then-
clarify, though, real quick, is
Yeah.
you and I didn't even talk about it
True.
until it was
Yeah.
out. Not to spoil where we're going. We did not
Yes.
have this conversation. These were internal conversations. We both internally went, I would love to have that.
Yes. And it had been a thing that was being promoted for months. The book is coming out in April. They probably started promoting it in late 2022.
Yeah.
So maybe 5-6 months of like pre-order now. You can get a signed copy. A bunch of people have pre-ordered more than we were expecting, but we're still gonna sign
Still
every
taking 'em.
single one
Yeah.
that signs up to pre-order and get the signed copy. And you and I both were like, man, that would be cool to have. And then the book comes out. They're no longer doing the signed copies.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, man, I still want it, but I've clearly waited too long for this thing to do this thing that I would like. Like,
Yeah.
I ended up I have purchased the book unsigned.
Yeah.
I went to a Barnes and Noble and purchased it, and really was thankful that I could find it in the shelves, because I did not want to ask an employee where's the comedy podcast book.
I not to interrupt your story, but I did once have to ask when we were in the depths of improv. I had to ask where to find like improv comedy books, and it was thoroughly embarrassing.
That's like I recently went to Best Buy because everybody knows how much I love my Blu-ray movie collection.
Of course.
But now, it used to be you walk into Best Buy and there's like somebody sitting at like a little like security desk basically by the door to make sure people aren't stealing anything.
Yeah.
And then they'll also, like, you know, as you walk in, they'll be like, hey, welcome to Best Buy, or hey, come, you know, welcome, hey, how's it going, whatever.
Yeah.
I walk in, this is like 2 days ago, I walk in there and there's the person at the desk, and then there's another employee just kind of like wandering around as like another greeter.
Yeah.
And so I walk in and she goes, hi, welcome to Best Buy. And I'm like, hi. And I know where I'm going, so I keep on moving. But as I'm starting to pass her, she's like, she kind of mumbles something. It's like, oh, and then stops. And I was like, what? And so I turn around just to like make sure she wasn't talking to me. But here's the thing, Evan. She was talking to me.
Uh-oh.
She said, what brings you in today? Hey, none of your goddamn business.
I heard about this store in the papers. I thought I'd check it out.
Yeah. And then when I was like, oh, like now I have to tell her, even though I'm proud of my collection and I enjoy
you're not that
updating
proud.
it and adding to it, I don't want to talk to a stranger about it.
No, yeah, it's like if you have someone come and visit your place, it's like, hey, look at these I've got. But you don't want to walk up to a stranger and be like, I have a nice Blu-ray collection.
I I have a physical media collection in my home. And so, but I told her, I was like, I'm here to look at Blu-rays, and she was like, oh, okay, well, you can go browse them. Well, yeah.
I know.
I'm assuming that it was to like help direct people who are like, I need a washing machine, or I
Yeah.
need a cell phone, like something that requires a salesperson.
Definitely.
But like, let those people ask for help.
Yeah.
Don't ask everyone who walks in.
That's them trying to like, because I'd complained about that before, like in a Best Buy, in those sections where you do need someone to be there, they're never there. And that's their version of remedying it. They don't want to have more employees. They want one employee that can instruct everyone where to go and call people to places. Like, no, that's not the solution. Just have good people there. Probably just
Yeah.
pay people better and you'll have better employees.
Yeah. This is something that I'm gonna very loosely tie to procrastination, as long as we're
Great.
talking about my recent trip to Best Buy.
Fantastic.
Because I'm in there, I scoop up a couple new releases and some
Hey.
that I'm like upgrading from DVD into Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And one of the titles that I pick up, you and I talked about before recording, I grab A Man Called Otto.
That man.
That man called Otto.
That boy.
And
Called Otto.
that boy
Oh,
called
shit.
Otto. Oh shit.
What up?
It's that boy Otto. This Evan is the key. This is how we would have marketed this movie.
Yeah, yeah. Tom Hanks on a unicycle.
Tom Hanks. Oh shit, what up?
Oh, shit.
It's that boy Otto.
Great.
But anyway, I go to the register, and the cashier there is scanning, and A Man Called Otto doesn't scan. And he's like, where did you get this? And I was like, right over there on your shelf. Like, do you want me to go like look at what the price is, and then you can enter it or whatever? And he was like, you got this off our movie shelf? I was like, yeah. He was like, we don't carry this item. There's like 7 of them on your shelf, dude.
So you should have flipped immediately and be like, oh, you're right, I brought this in with me.
Oh yeah,
Then
I
you
brought
got it
this
for free.
this plastic wrapped Blu-ray with me
Wrapped
from
in
home.
Plastic.
My bad. But then so the other cashier is like, oh yeah, some of the movies they're not in our system, so they won't scan. So you have to go on your telling the other cashier that he'll have to go on his phone and find the product number like on the website, and then manually enter the product number into the register so that it'll ring up. This feels like procrastination on Best Buy's
100%.
technology department.
I feel like that's
Why aren't your products in your system, dude?
Best Buy is a procrastinating company, because like, and I see the logic there. Like, if you're thinking video games, video game systems, televisions, appliances, car stereos, those things are going. Blu-rays, DVDs and CDs are still in there. They sell some vinyl too. These things probably aren't sold as much, and because of that, nobody is going to remedy this. They just have a workaround for the next 10 years.
Yeah, probably.
And people will say, where did you get this? I say go back there, find some more that they'll surprise them, and just say, oops, I brought it in with me. Put it in your backpack.
I know. I wonder if I could get away with that.
Maybe. I mean, I've met a lot of Best Buy employees, and most of them, I would think, given an out to not help someone or not go on the website and look up an SKU and type it in, I think they would let you walk out with the Blu-ray.
Evan,
Yeah.
when you worked at Walgreens, as long as we're talking about company procrastination,
Company procrastination.
did you ever experience anything like that where you were like,
Sure,
man, the company should really fix this, but people who work in headquarters, it doesn't affect them at all, so they're not going to do it?
I mean, there would be a handful of it's mostly holiday stuff, because that, everyone was like, the holiday stuff's always coming out. It's what is it right now? Fucking May. 4th of July stuff might be out right now, and people go like, what the why? It's too early. And it's like, I don't know, we got to fill this shelf, and you would be mad at us if it was full of Easter stuff, so get over it. But because of that, there's all this rotating stock, and it all gets scanned in. But there's always like, once it's all there will still be like 20 items that just don't scan. And it did definitely feel like it was never a like, I would go like, oh, this didn't scan, and someone would go like, great, let me scan that, put it into the system, make something happen, and now it comes up in the system. It was just like, well, we gotta, you gotta get people out. So it's like, run, look at the tag, just type in $7.99. And the person goes like, I didn't know it was that much. And then Evan quits.
I thought it was $7, not $7.99.
Yes. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't need to get into more of that, but I got into some fights with people over listed prices and real prices. And man, when that difference is like 10 cents, I get it. You don't want to give an extra 10 cents to Walgreens, but like, you really want to argue about this?
Yeah. I don't want to give 10 cents to this corporation. Instead, I want to yell at this minimum wage employee.
But yeah, that's all I could think of in terms of like major procrastination. It's which is a similar thing. Like, I get it. The instinct is just we've got to get employees out the door with our products. It's like, yeah, but shouldn't stuff work? Shouldn't everything in the store be able to be purchased?
Yeah.
And then it comes time to do fucking loss prevention shit and scan stuff. It's like, why are certain items missing? It's like, because of that. Because they left and they paid for them, but it didn't go in the system. Who am I? Jerry Seinfeld. The impression disappeared.
That should be his catchphrase, by the way. Oh, what's the deal? Who am I? I'm Jerry Seinfeld.
Good night. Yeah, so he comes on and then leaves. I gotta talk about what I've been procrastinating. And we do have a quiz. We got to get to a quiz. We do know.
We do have a quiz. We got a quiz.
Here's the big news. My parents are coming to visit. My parents live in...
Start spreading the news.
Washington State. They don't get out here very often. I think it was pre-pandemic.
Why? Is it because they don't love you?
Probably. Maybe, yeah. Or they're just procrastinating. Hopping on that plane. Running up, hopping on that plane. Going to see their son. He's living alone with Alaska. But they're coming to visit. I'm very excited. We're all very excited. We're gonna have a fun time. They do love me. They're listeners of the podcast. I don't want them to get the wrong idea. They love the fuck out of me. And they'll be here Friday. And I've known that for months. These tickets were booked months ago. And I, being the kind person I am, told them they can stay here. They can sleep in my bed. I'll stay with my girlfriend, or I'll sleep on the couch if I need to do work stuff. mi casa es su casa.
Sí.
Mi apartamento es su apartamento.
See.
I've had months to just do a little bit each day of cleaning. You know, you've been to my place. It's not a filthy place, but any apartment, if you're going to have someone stay there, you want to do some deep cleaning. I'm like, I want to get these closets cleared out. Not cleared out, but like, so they've got space to hang up their clothes.
Yeah, space. Yeah,
I don't want to look like a fucking slob. They're coming here Friday. I waited until this week to start anything at all. And guess what?
All right, so Friday's 2 days away.
Friday's 2 days away from
what
now.
Have you done
Well,
so
here's
far?
the problem. And here's the problem with procrastinating shit like this is like, I work this week and fucking guess what? I've got a crazy busy work week. I'm super busy. And I postponed this strictly because I'm like, well, that week I'm going to be like 100%. You know, once it got to the point where it's like, okay, either I'm doing it this week or I'll push it to next week. I'll push it to next week. I'm going to get it all done. I'll get it all done fucking Monday, the whole fucking place. No, that didn't happen because I've had a crazy busy Monday. I've had a crazy busy Tuesday. I've got a moderately chill day today, but we got to record this podcast. So we're doing that right now. I have to edit the next week's episode sometime between now and the end of the week. That's the other thing with procrastinating, when it's like, oh, they're coming Friday. Great, I've got all week. No, I don't. A, because I'm working. B, because I cut my day off at 6 or 7, and I'm still doing that. I'm watching a movie every night. I need to chill out. I'm cooking dinner and watching a movie and stopping cleaning. But the problem is, like, I also got hit with I got a Slack message from work, and not blaming anyone in particular, but I got a Slack message that was like, hey, I know this person talked to you about filling in for me this week. Thanks for that. And I responded, no, they didn't. Nobody talked to me about that. Awesome. What a good week for me to have an extra person's worth of work.
Yeah.
It's been great. I've got to go on a shoot this afternoon, so I'll be gone then. So I've got what I've got of today, and I've got tomorrow, which I have a chiropractor appointment in the middle of the day and work to do in the morning. And this is it. I don't have a single day that's like, I'm free all day. I'm free all day to just crush it. What I've done so far, I blasted through a bunch of dishes. So that's good. I'm like, I just want to be on top of the dishes so that when it comes day of, I can kind of clear everything out. I feel good there. I'm cleaning the carpets. I've got, even though right now the front room is a little messy, but it's all like big stuff. I've done a lot of the deep cleaning out there.
Okay.
Bedroom, fucking nothing. Places. And this is where they're going to be sleeping. I got a lot of work to do in there. And I don't know if it's going to get done. My parents will know by the time they listen to this. Like, did it get done?
Yeah.
Did he do it?
Did he do it?
You just don't want to look like a complete slob, like a complete mess.
Yeah.
You know? You want them to think you're a nice, clean little boy who's not afraid of needles. This is what's top of mind for me right now. I don't know. I got half done on the bathroom, but that's a big job too. There's a part of me that's like, I don't think it's going to get done.
Yeah.
I think I fucked up.
Yeah, you might have fucked up.
Do you postpone cleaning and shit like that? Have you two, because you guys just moved in, what, a year ago? 2 years ago?
A year ago.
1 year ago? Have you had like people over? Have you, I don't know.
Yes. And it's tough because and I don't know if you and Jocelyn know this about each other or not, but one of us is cleaner than the other one.
Mm.
And so I feel like even if I'm like, oh, I can do a quick clean, I know what needs to be cleaned.
Yeah.
Like the oven is, or the stovetop needs to be wiped down. We need to sweep the floors.
Yeah.
We've got to scrub these couple things and we'll be fine. And then it'll, like, I'll just start finding more and more like little messes
Yeah.
that I don't think I created, and even if I did, I certainly don't remember or haven't noticed it until I'm in like cleaning mode.
Right.
So I don't know that I necessarily procrastinate on cleaning as much as I underestimate what I need to do.
That's kind of a part of it. I think that's a subconscious procrastination because you're not seeing the mess. Because that's how it works when you live in it. Like, I reckon I'm not like a filthy person. I would even argue to say I'm moderately neat. I let the place go a little bit. But I mean, this is backwards to what I'm about to say. That's how I feel about myself. But it's not until it's time to like, oh, someone's coming over, I've got to clean the place, that I look around and go like, I live in squalor. Like,
Yeah.
my place is fucking filthy. I've got a lot of work to do. I don't know. I think our brains just shut it off and go like, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Watch a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Watch Ocean's 13. It's all going to be okay. Watch Al Pacino lose everything.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
As a student, were you someone who procrastinated on homework?
I was thinking about that. And the reason why I was thinking about that is because we decided to do an episode about procrastination.
So naturally, it came to
I
mind.
thought, what are times in my life when I procrastinated? Is that one of them? And here's the answer. Yes. 100%.
Okay.
I've always been a procrastinator. I am to this day. It's I mean, hey, we've all gotten used to it. Evan doesn't post anything to promote these episodes the day they come out. These don't get promoted until Thursday, sometimes Saturday. The procrastination runs deep in my blood. And I've always been that way. And there's no positive to it. You know, a lot of problems. Here's the question. Because what I was about to say, there's a lot of problems. I can look up and be like, there's this issue with myself. Oh no. And I can look up a self-help book. That's like, that's not an issue. That's a gift. You're special. Do you think I can find a self-help book that says procrastination is actually good?
That's a good question, because you and I were talking about Barry earlier.
Yeah.
And the main character of Barry was listening to a podcast and it didn't really fit what he already believed.
Yeah.
And so rather than looking inward, he just found a different podcast that validated his own feelings.
Yeah.
So I do wonder if something like procrastination being good, I kind of do think maybe there's a way to find that, but it is also like it has such a negative reputation,
Right.
that it would be difficult to find. But I would imagine there's a way to do it.
You are correct. I've found one book title that might be. It's taking a second to load on Goodreads. Okay, this might be a joke book. Okay, no, this might be it. The Art of Procrastination, a guide to effective dawdling, lollygagging, and postponing.
Okay.
For the great majority of us, what a comfort to discover that we're not wastrels and slackers, but doers in our own way. It may sound counterintuitive, but according to philosopher John Perry, you can accomplish a lot by putting things off. He calls it structured procrastination. See, there was one. Now, there's hundreds of
There's
books that
one.
are about stop procrastinating, you lazy fuck. But I think this might be the book I read. This might be the book for me. Now I am just curious. I might just read it. Just we got to do that book report episode. I still have to read that book about my neighbor's grandfather. It's still sitting there. I'm procrastinating reading it because I don't want to. Why would I want to? Why would I want to read that? Long story short, yes, I was a procrastinator as a student. But I will say I was, outside of like one or two times, I was always a get her done kid.
Get her done. Okay.
Evan the cable boy. I got it done. It's just that I would get it done Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
If not evening.
Yeah, I think I feel like with a lot of homework, I would get it done relatively early. Like I wouldn't procrastinate on very many projects. There were definitely some that like I would, but I feel like in general, I tried to get it done at a reasonable time, if not early. The one exception being in college, all 3 years, I had a comic strip in the newspaper.
Really?
And it was every week. There's a weekly newspaper. And so I would have a comic strip in there. And like every single week, that was like, oh shit, I gotta get this comic strip done and send it in tonight. So weirdly, like a thing that I enjoyed doing, but maybe because I wasn't getting paid for it, or maybe because it wasn't like a grade, it was just like a thing I could do because I liked drawing and doing quick jokes.
Yeah.
That I wanted to do it, but it became very much like, oh shit, I gotta get this thing done.
Hey, anything. Yeah. It's the bane of creativity and joy. Enjoy. I've been watching a lot of Jiminy Glick. I'd start talking like that's the joy of creativity and joy. It's like anything you love doing that you're passionate about. It's me with music. If you at all try to turn that into like it's a regular thing I do and I gain any sort of fucking traction with it, it becomes a pain. Even if you don't look at it as a pain, you still look at it as something you love to do. It's like, but now it's a consistent thing I have to do like once a week, and I don't want it. It's not interesting anymore. I don't know. One thing, just jumping back to general procrastination before we get to this quiz. We're procrastinating it. I know. We're pushing it back. We're pushing it back. We'll get to it. Don't worry. Don't worry, little babies. We're going to take a quiz. We know the quiz is your favorite part.
We know the quiz is your favorite part when we drag it on forever, and oftentimes it's something visual and you don't get to see what it is.
Us.
We know that's your favorite part.
Cluelessly climbing with blindfolds on up the IMDb of Vin Diesel. This is what you've come to hear. But a thing I've heard, I think, which is a common
blindly guessing Ed Sheeran lyrics is everyone's favorite part.
Not even trying to like remember the song or go through in any sort of straight way, just saying nouns and adjectives,
words.
Girl, woman, love, and
and I know you love it goes on for 10 minutes.
A general modern thought about procrastination that I've heard. which I'm going to try to start enacting, and I wonder how this rings with you, is the idea of anytime something comes up that feels like, that's a pain, I'll do it later, or just anything you auto-procrastinate in your life. If it will take less than 20 minutes, do it now.
Okay.
There's something about like giving a rule like that. We love rules. We love guidelines. We love the stuff. Having a little hard and fast rule where I stop and I think about it. Even if it's not a like, I love it. I do everything. It is just one more possible, like I said, with the cleaning. If I had the thought like, oh, my fucking bookcase is dusty, that would take significantly less than 20 minutes to dust my bookcase. And if I had done that a month ago, it would probably be dusty again. But you get the idea.
Yeah.
Maybe that was a bad example.
Yeah.
Organizing the bookshelf, whatever. Like,
Sure.
if I had just done it then, it would be done. And now it's not.
Yeah.
And instead, I've got 10 hours worth of cleaning to do instead of slowly having whittled it down. I don't know. I think it's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. That's something to think about.
Something to ponder.
Yeah, I don't know how that rings with
Chris
me.
Chris doesn't like
but
it. He hates it.
I hates it.
He hates it. Filthy hobbitses. That's not
something
Gollum.
That
hey, it's me, Gollum.
Hey, you filthy hobbitses.
Hello.
Oh shit, is that boy Gollum.
Jeepers.
We talked about how we thought we'd done a procrastination episode already.
True.
But we couldn't find any proof that we had done it. This is as close to the Mandela Effect as I think we're going to get with this podcast. So I've found a 20-question quiz about the Mandela Effect and whether or not we can remember things correctly or not.
Okay.
The Mandela Effect is basically like something that has like slipped into public consciousness as being true.
A lot of
but in reality is false.
Remembered Nelson Mandela dying in prison, which did not happen.
Yes, correct.
Like in the 80s. And that did not happen. And there's a slew of things that people have this, and instead of thinking like, hey, brains are weird, they're like, alternate universes. The timeline has slipped.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
It's possible. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm saying it's unlikely.
Would you like me to share my screen with you for this quiz or no?
If you think it would be helpful for me to see.
I can only see the first question,
Great.
So I guess I'll share it with you.
No harm. Oh.
All right. So the first one.
I knew this was coming up.
Yeah, this is a similar. This is other than
this is the big one.
Event that the Mandela Effect is named after. This is the one that comes up the most often, it feels like.
Yep.
So here we have an illustration of a family of bears. You know them, you love them. But the question is, are those the Berenstain Bears or the Berenstain Bears?
Now, I'm coming into this confidently because I feel like I know the correct answer and why people are confused about this. But I'm afraid now, because it's public, that I'm going to make a big stink about it and then be incorrect. Here's what
Okay. I'm going to say just real quick, a little rule for myself is that in the past, in some of these quizzes, I've just clicked on your answer, and then when it's wrong, I have let my thoughts then be known.
This is
but I
ridiculous.
will make sure that both of us answer before I click on what the answer
Listening back to it, I was
is, and
right.
if we disagree, then
I
we can
was
figure
right
stuff
about more of those doors than you acted. All right.
But every time we picked the wrong one, then it was you.
Easy to say after the fact. I'm
Listen back.
a natural. I did listen back. I'm a natural born leader. No. Did you read these books as a kid? First off,
I did.
Okay.
Yes. Did you?
of course, love them. Here's what I think, and what I know, and what I'm afraid of being wrong about. I'm almost 100% positive it's the Berenstain Bears, but we've always pronounced it Berenstain Bears because we're fucking kids and you say it fast and it's just the Berenstain Bears. But I believe it is spelled the Berenstain Bears.
I also believe it is the Berenstain Bears,
Okay.
but I do exclusively remember pronouncing it the Berenstain Bears.
I think that's
So,
all it is. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Let's make sure we're right.
that is correct.
Thank God. Yeah, I think that's simple. I think a lot of these, especially ones related to 80s and 90s kids, it's like, yeah, you were a fucking kid. That's why you misremember how Berenstain was spelled. We weren't exactly clocking it. Now, what the fuck is this nonsense?
Here we have an image from Tom and Jerry. And the question is, what color are Tom's eyes?
Who knows and cares?
So are they white or are they yellow?
I mean, my first instinct is they're white, but this is a weird one. I've never heard of this before.
Yeah, and they both, looking at each image, they both seem right. You know what I mean? I won't be surprised either way.
They both seem wrong to me, honestly.
Okay.
I don't know. This doesn't. It's hard to tell from because the image we're being shown is the like title card. Tom and Jerry, yeah, they're looking at each other. Like I need to see them in a cartoon.
Yeah.
I don't know. My instinct's white, but this is also a thing that's like, why would I know this? What fucking color are Batman's eyes? I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
What color are any cartoon character's eyes?
Weirdly,
You thinking yellow?
I feel like I'm leaning yellow for some reason.
Yeah, well,
and I don't know where that's
for it.
coming from.
We'll go for it. It's you're right.
All right, now it's going to be wrong and you're going to lord it over me.
I am. Hey!
Oh, correct!
He got it. So Tom's eyes are yellow and Jerry's eyes are white. That's a weird choice. I mean, see, now I do need to.
It's definitely weird, but
in the context of like a Tom and Jerry cartoon. Interesting. Yeah, that's such a weird animation choice. Do cats have yellow eyes that I'm not aware of? Yeah, everything. He's got yellow eyes. Very interesting.
Our next question is, what is the warning phrase on the passenger side mirrors?
Oh, jeez. Okay. I feel like this came up recently and I was wrong and I was mad about it. But then also like, this might be my number one, like Nelson Mandela effect thing of like, I know I'm right, but I'm wrong.
Okay. Is it objects in mirror may be closer than they appear, or is it objects in mirror are closer than they appear?
I swear to God, it's always been objects in mirror may be closer than they appear. But I feel like that is incorrect. And this might be my one conspiracy theory thing where I'm like, I think it changed. But I remember them being maybe closer.
I remember them being maybe closer as well.
Maybe we just go with it.
But
I don't know.
From a like big business standpoint, it probably costs less to put the word are instead of may be.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if that played a part. But I'm fine with going with either one. This is like, I remember it. This is almost like the Berenstain Bears,
Yeah.
except like this one's not talked about all the time, so like I
Yeah.
don't know it.
But this was a
But
one I
in my
remember
mind,
really
yeah.
clocking when I was a kid because I never understood what it meant. And once I was old enough to sit in the front seat when my parent was driving, I would look at it and read it. Objects in mirror may be closer than they appear. What does that mean? I didn't get it. I'm like, what? like magic? I don't get it. I don't know. Well, I mean, I think if we both remember it that's way, that's what the quiz is what is it? Not
Sure.
can we be?
Yeah,
can
we both
get
remember
it, right?
it as maybe.
We both remember it. If
Yeah.
we're wrong, let's be wrong.
Okay, fair enough. Let's select it. And we are wrong.
See,
it is that they are closer than.
And now I'm like, I want to see. I swear it changed. I kind of hate the general vibe of the whole Mandela Effect thing. I'm well, it's different, but I'm like, no, it did change. I'm not crazy, and I want to run out and check my car right now.
That's the thing is like I use my mirrors all the time, but I never I don't even know what mine says, or if mine even says something for some reason.
Right.
For some reason, I feel like mine doesn't say anything.
Might not. Who knows? This one I'm pretty confident on.
I'm very confident in this one as well. This is Fruit Loops Fruit or Fruit Loops FROOT.
This is a Fruit Loop. 00.
00 all the way, baby. Let's go.
Double rainbow all the way. We did it. And that's another one
also
that's like that's not a Mandela Effect thing. It's like you maybe never looked at the box and they're called Fruit Loops and that's how it's fucking spelled.
It's also like some of these are easier than others because when you look at some of the options, like you can tell which ones are photoshopped, which ones are not.
True. Yeah.
And that's one that's very easy to tell that's been photoshopped when it's FRUIT. Is Mount Everest the highest point on Earth?
Uh-oh. No. Huh. This is one that's
I feel like it
to me is not a thing that's like the way it's worded, that was never, I don't feel like ever a thing that was like taught or mentioned in that way. Highest point on Earth? Is it the tallest mountain? I believe so, yes. I'm not even confident about that. That's pretty well known for being that tall ass mountain. Is it the highest point on Earth, though? I don't know. Is there a non-mountain? Like, is there a land that is just a higher elevation than that? I don't know. I think it's worded in a weird way. I've never heard anybody question this. I don't know why we're talking about it. I'll go with whatever you want to answer.
See, I feel like it's the highest point on Earth, but not the tallest mountain.
Oh, really?
Does that make sense?
Yes. And
I feel like I remember hearing that other mountains, because they start at lower elevation, are technically
and that's where we're getting
bigger mountains, but they don't reach as
the way it's worded
in Earth's atmosphere.
Because you'd say it's taller elevation wise.
So I'm okay with saying that yes, it's the highest point.
We could
but
say yes. I just think it's weirded word.
It's weirded word.
It's clearly
for sure.
Word.
Wrong. Mount Everest is Earth's highest mountain above sea level, but the highest point on Earth is the peak of Ecuador's Mount Chimborazo. So it's almost like we got that right, but the way it's phrased,
it's complicated. I don't like it.
I'm going to count that as us getting that right. Because the way we explained it is correct, you know? All right, what's the Queen's famous line in the original Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs?
I don't even want to look at the options. The
Okay.
queen and the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. The image they've shown, the queen and that mirror, which is a mirror
Yeah.
on the wall. Who is the fairest one of all? That's my memory.
Okay. Now, I believe, without looking at the
Uh-oh.
answers, it's Magic Mirror on the
What?
wall. Who is the fairest of them all?
That's insane. Magic mirror on the wall? No
and
way.
those are the
I just
those
want to
are
see
the two.
the answer. Skip.
Yeah, or we can skip, which
Or we
is
can
an
skip
insane thing to add at this point in the quiz.
Magic mirror on the wall. I mean, hey, that's the whole thing with the quiz is this is shit people misremember. I'll admit if I'm wrong, but I feel like mirror on the wall is it. That's always what it's been. But maybe it's something else, and that's the reason we look back and remember that. I don't know, but I've never heard Magic Mirror on the Wall. But I don't know how many times I've even seen Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It's been a long time. Go with your instinct.
Yeah. My instinct is still Magic Mirror on the wall.
Fascinating. This one's fascinating to me.
I'm going to choose it.
Do it.
I am correct.
Wow.
The Queen says Magic Mirror on the wall. But in the original book and many other versions, the line is Mirror on the wall.
This is fascinating. Because wasn't there something called Mirror?
Yes.
What was
that? With Lily Collins and Julia Roberts, I believe.
This is...
so that's another adaptation of Snow White. But yes, you are correct that was called Mirror.
All right, I'm going to watch. I got to hear this from the Queen's mouth. Okay. It starts with her saying, slave in the magic mirror.
Yeah, I mean...
I might not remember this movie very well.
There's a lot of stuff from those early Disney movies that...
Magic
might take you by surprise today.
That is mind-blowing to me. Magic mirror on the wall. All right, we're moving on. I heard it from the Queen's lips.
Do you remember the Curious George's long tail?
That's worded weirdly. What the fuck does that mean?
Yes, I do remember it, or no, I don't think he had one.
So the question is, did Curious George have a long tail? And what are we considering a long tail? Like, does he have a tail or not a tail?
Probably, yeah. I think it's, does he have a tail or not a tail?
Here's what I'll say.
I believe he does not have a tail.
Loved Curious George as a kid. I had my childhood go to sleep with doll was a Curious George doll. That thing was my everything, little George. I love Curious George. I had a big yellow book, like the Big Yellow Hat, of all his tales, and I read them all the time. All I can say, I'm not clear on it, but I can say I believe for certain that Curious George doll did not have a tail, and that would be a weird omission for a child's toy of a monkey to have. Granted, also kind of weird to just draw a monkey without a tail. Seems like a monkey that would have a tail.
I agree with you. I don't think he has a tail.
I love Curious George. I'm going to be sad if I'm wrong.
We are correct.
Hooray!
Okay, what about Pikachu's tail?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that its tail's tip was black?
Tip? See, this is silly. Scroll, show me. Okay. Because in my mind... Okay, so the answers are either yes, his ears and tail's tips were black, or no, he was all yellow with no black tip tail. I remember no. He's just got kind of a lightning-shaped tail. I think it's all yellow, and I think this is kind of leading in the sense that his ears are tipped that way, that makes sense. People would remember it that way. So I'm saying no, but I'm not like 100% confident on it. I was a huge Pokemon fan, though.
Yeah, I was, I think we've talked about this, not a huge Pokemon fan. My Pikachu knowledge is like exclusively Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah. You get a lot of tail in that. You've seen Detective Pikachu.
That's true. I've seen Detective Pikachu. I think, yeah, I think that I don't think the tip of his tail is black. But I mean, I don't really think that he was all yellow with no black tipped tail. For some reason, I remember like maybe it's the shading in
Yeah.
the Smash Brothers games, but I feel like part of his tail, closer to his spine and not the tip of the tail,
Yeah.
is like brown for some
Yeah.
reason. But
Could be.
whatever. We'll say no, he was all yellow with no black tipped tail. And we are correct.
Hooray!
If you Google it, though, you'll see lots of images of Pikachu with a black tipped tail and ears. However, the original character never had such a design.
It's so weird.
And like you were saying, this also says that if you guessed it wrong, your brain is probably replacing those new images with the older ones, or you're simply from another parallel universe.
And I think this is stupid.
One of the most iconic lines in the Star Wars series is Luke, "I'm your father." Do you remember it?
He doesn't say that.
He does not say that. He says, "No, I'm your father."
Yeah. Come on.
Easy.
We aren't
let's
even allowed to
go.
be like confident with it. The answer is like, I think it was this instead.
All right, next one. Speaking of Star Wars, do you remember C-3PO's one silver leg?
The fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I think he's all gold, baby.
Yeah, right.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Okay.
That's a gold boy. Wrong!
Apparently, C-3PO's right leg below the shin is made of silver.
Interesting. The theory is the reflection of his left golden leg on the right made it almost impossible for viewers to tell the difference, which would make sense.
Fuck off,
So in
George.
the end of the day, who gives a shit?
They're gold. Yeah. That's some bullshit right there. How do you remember the Mona Lisa's hair in the world-famous Leonardo da Vinci painting? She's wearing a veil and you can't see her hair, or her hair is all black and shoulder length.
Huh. Shoulder length.
The shoulder length
That
part of it is
changes
weird.
things. Yeah, because I think of her with long hair, which makes me think it maybe I just never looked closely enough and it is a veil. I don't know, a shoulder length cut for that time seems odd.
Yeah.
So I do remember it being hair, but I am going to vote veil because that doesn't make sense to me.
I'm in the same boat as you. I remember her as having hair, but
like if you had just asked
the
me
shoulder
without
length is
suggesting,
weird.
like maybe a different quiz might, I probably would have incorrectly just said she has long black hair. Let's see.
We are correct.
Interesting.
She's wearing a black veil and you can't actually see her hair clearly.
Huh.
All right. Do you spell it Kit Kat with a hyphen in the middle or Kit Kat with a space in the middle?
Now,
This is tough because
also,
if I saw the logo, I would recognize it, but this is not the logo.
but
This
there
is
is
just
an important
type
thing at the end of this question. Which one do you remember being on the chocolates? Because it's imprinted on the chocolates. Do they just mean specifically? Is it possible it's different on the chocolate and on the package? I don't know. I think
that would be insane.
It would. This quiz keeps wording things weirdly. And we were wrong last time this happened. I mean, in my mind, there would be a hyphen, but it is another one of those things that's like, I'm not going to, if I'm wrong, I'm not going to go like, what? Mind blown. I can't believe there's no hyphen. I must be from a parallel universe. I'm sorry to anyone that feels that way. I'm not making fun of you. I'm decimating you.
Yeah, my gut also says hyphen.
Okay,
so
let's go
hyphen.
It's probably wrong, and I don't care.
It is wrong. I don't care either.
Oh, funny. Some say the T might create the illusion, and that's why some people have such a collective false memory about that hyphen we loved so much as kids. Remember eating the hyphen? Me and my sisters would fight over who got to eat the hyphen.
I'm such a little hyphen baby.
Oh, no.
This one is for the gamers.
Wow.
Do you remember this giant yellow sign in the Call of Duty's standoff map?
That ain't me, man. I don't know if I've ever played Call of Duty once. Maybe once. I don't care. I don't know.
Yeah, I've played Call of Duty.
Wow.
Like, I think I played Call of Duty Black Ops, maybe, or something like that. So
actually, I might have played that.
Either of us is qualified to answer this question.
Now, granted, at the same time, looking at the bottom corner of that graphic, it says Call of Duty Mobile. So what the fuck are we talking about? Is that the answer right there? That it's like, oh, it's in a mobile game. That's why you remember it. I'm cranky.
Now on this one, we do have the option to say, I'm not a gamer, show me the answer.
I don't know that I can honestly say that.
We can try to decide, yes, it was always there, or no, it has never been there before.
I just rolled credits on Persona 5, and I sunk 110 hours into it. I can't call myself not a gamer. So I've got to commit. And I think because of that little clue I just spotted, I have to say, no, it has never been there before.
I'm also going to say, no, it has never been there before.
Let's just go with it. What do we have to lose?
Wrong.
We're gamers. It gets most gamers, does it? Interesting. I have no idea.
Yeah, the giant yellow sign has actually been there in the original standoff map in Call of Duty, despite many gamers swearing that it wasn't.
And it does say the theory is that other map versions, including the Call of Duty mobile version, have created this false memory because you can't see the sign in the mobile version. Okay, so I should have reverse engineered that. All these things have been photoshopped. I got duped.
Which one do you remember to be the iconic line in the Forrest Gump movie?
Some chocolates are better than others, and I'm allergic to peanuts.
Oh shit, what up? It's that boy, Forrest Gump.
Oh shit, what up? It's that boy, JFK.
Life is a box of chocolate, or life is like a box of chocolate?
Life is like a box of chocolate, which makes me think that's wrong. But in my mind, 100%, it's life is like a box of chocolate.
Yeah, I'm going to say life is like a box of chocolate, but I also think it's wrong. But that's what I remember.
At school all the time. Which
and you and I are both kind of over this quiz, so I can say it.
Wrong!
Oh, the misconception probably is because of the false references in other media. If it's not due to parallel universes colliding.
I gotta...
Fuck this quiz.
I gotta hear
All right,
it.
do you remember it as Looney Tunes, Toons, or Looney Tunes, Tunes? I'm confident about this one, Evan.
I feel like I am too. I hope we don't disagree.
All right, which one do you think it is?
Tunes as in music.
Yes, I agree with you. Tunes. That is correct.
If we're good at nothing else, we've got weird spellings of cartoon related things. Right.
All right. Do you have a memory of Tinkerbell using her wand to put a dot in Disney's logo in some movie intros?
A dot? A dot?
I think the way that this is phrased is
like
also
the
strange.
Eye? This is
I think so, because I think it used to be Like, you see the castle logo, and
Castle.
then the
She
like
flies
shooting
across.
star or whatever goes across, and then Tinkerbell comes in and hits her wand on the Disney logo. Maybe it's for the eye, maybe it's for the registered trademark symbol. I
don't know. Don't forget. Interesting.
I'm kind of confident about this.
You say that, and now I'm like, I think you are right that it is a like a shooting star sort of thing that goes over the Disney castle that spells Disney. But I will say that I was remembering it being Tinkerbell that comes out and spells Disney. Not like you see the character, just like a little flying fuck. And at that time, that was the one flying fuck we had.
Our options are yes, I clearly remember that, or no, I don't think she ever did that. And the problem is, I do clearly remember that, but I don't think she ever did that. So my answer is no, I don't think she ever did that.
Let's go with that, because I'm essentially in the same boat. I do remember that, but
we are correct again.
I don't. Yeah, a dot. I don't know what that means.
What color do you think the Dazzle ships in World War I were? Obviously gray or black, or colorful and abstract.
Okay.
I've never heard of the Dazzle ships. So
Dazzle ships, to me, I'm just now finding out is a thing. I know that as an Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark album called Dazzle Ships. That's great. I always just thought it was a weird name. Apparently it's a thing that's from a time when we only have black and white images.
Yes.
That collectively we remember what color they were in 2023. I'm going to have to assume, because they're called Dazzle Ships, I got to assume they were colorful and abstract, and people remember them as gray or black because black and white photos.
I think I'm agree smart with your logic. Let's go colorful and abstract. We are correct. Dazzle ships had colorful patterns similar to abstract paintings of Picasso. It was a certain type of camouflage to distract the enemy's eyes and make it hard for the enemy soldiers to guess the size or shape of the ships. However, many people cannot believe that the colorful ships ever existed and were even used in the World War. All right. If you're old enough to remember Britney Spears' Oops, I Did It Again, you also remember the iconic headset she had in the music video, right? Or did she even have one?
I don't think she did. Oops, I Did It Again is...
I don't remember this music video. I of course know the song, but...
Well, okay, so now here they're fucking with us again, because the answers are no, Britney had no headset on in the music video, or yes, she wore a red dress with a headset on. These are two... They throw too many factors in the answers.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you asked one question, but now you're throwing in an extra qualifier in one of the answers. She wore a red dress with a headset on. In my memory, I'm almost positive. Oops, I'm trying to remember which her music videos were. Hit Me Baby One More Time is the schoolgirl outfit. Oops, I Did It Again is her like red spandex shazazzle. And, she always wore a fucking headset to sing and dance on live performances. I'm sure that's what people are remembering. I'm saying no, she did not have a headset on in the music video. But
I'm going to go with you with no.
I can see what people are assuming.
I also wonder if maybe the music video for Toxic or something, maybe she has the headset on when she's like in the flight attendant outfit.
Oh, could be.
But we'll say no. We are correct. She did not wear the headset. Growing up, we all thought that sugar gives you an energy boost and can make you sleepless, right?
What?
No, sugar has nothing to do with that,
what
or
does
yes,
this mean?
especially in kids.
So are they suggesting that, like, wait, what does this mean? Okay,
Does sugar
so
give you an energy boost and can make you sleepless?
sure. I mean, okay, yeah. Is that incorrect? I mean, what are they? Are they saying like we believed that sugar would like make you peppy and then keep you awake all night? I
Yeah.
don't think that that was how it was ever telegraphed to me, but I feel like sugar, yeah, it'll make kids jittery and energetic and they might have trouble sleeping. I don't know. So I'm assuming the answer is no. Sugar has nothing to do with that because this quiz hates me. But yeah,
That's
I would
also,
say,
I'm also kind of in that no, sugar has nothing to do with that.
but I think it does, and I would say yes, especially in kids, is how I knew growing up. Like when my mom and the daycare, and it's like, oh yeah, don't give the kids too much sugar; they'll bounce off the gosh dang walls. But are they about to tell me, no, we never believed that? Or no,
Yeah.
that fact is incorrect? I don't get what this wants from me.
Yeah. I think so. I think the answer is no, sugar has nothing to do with that. But
Sure.
growing up, I was told that yes, it does have to do with that, especially in kids.
And
So if your answer is yes, especially in kids, I will
yeah,
click that answer.
I say
But I
let's
do
go
think it's
for it.
going to be no, sugar has
I
nothing
think
to
it
do with
might
that.
be, but I don't know that I believe that. And I need to see what the fuck they're talking about.
Guess
See,
what? Sugar has nothing to do with energy levels. Multiple studies have proven that. But for some reason, most people think it gives you an energy boost. Is it false information? Or there's something cheesy going on?
this is not the Mandela Effect.
Last one, Evan.
Okay.
So, Star Trek fans all know the famous line of the franchise, "Beam me up, Scotty."
Oh,
Do
Jesus
you
Christ.
remember it as well? I think it's "Scotty, beam me up," or "Yes, I know that line very well."
Ah,
I think
I'm
it's
not.
"Scotty, beam
I
me
think
up."
it's got to be Scotty Beam Me Up. I'm not clear on this one. And Beam Me Up Scotty is obviously the one in the public consciousness, so they wouldn't be talking about it if that were correct.
Correct.
We did it.
We did it. We got 13 out of 20 correct. I'm going to
Okay.
say we got 14 out of 20 because I think we technically got that Everest
I'm
one
going to say
correct. It
we
was
got
just phrased poorly.
20 out of 20. We crushed it. That like simultaneously made me mad and was one of my favorite quizzes we've done.
We
I
learned
enjoyed
about
that.
dazzle ships.
We learned
So,
about dazzle ships. I had my mind blown about magic mirror on the wall.
yes.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Did you learn anything? Tell us.
Yeah,
And you
let us
know
know.
where you can tell us?
Where?
Anywhere you get your podcasts.
So sad.
I know. You can listen to this shit anywhere. Listen to more of it. We love you and you love us, and we're a happy family. That's the Barney song,
You're
right?
goddamn right.
Oh, maybe it's not. I'm in
It
a
was
parallel
in my
Barney
parallel
universe.
universe.
Yeah, listen to this anywhere you get it. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean. They all got shit you can do. You can follow us. You can subscribe to our feed. You can leave us reviews, ratings. These things all help us do better. And we're not doing great right now. We're both so sad. Lift our spirits, help us out, do something for us. You can also find us on the old get to that social media. We've got some of them. We've got Instagram, we're at How Do We Human.
We got that handle.
We're on Facebook, also at How Do We Human.
Gotta get that handle.
We're on YouTube. The handle's at How Do We Human, but you go to youtube.com/How Do We Human. We're right there. I'm pretty sure that's the URL. At How Do We Human.
I don't think you're ready for that handle.
And you know what? You can leave us an email. Just talk to us on there. Ask us questions. Give us episode ideas. Tell us what you want us to talk about. That is howdowehumanpod@gmail.com.
The best part of that handle is that it's an email.
Pew! Chris,
Yep.
what you got going on?
I've got a new series of books coming out about a family of bears called the Berenstein Bears.
Ooh.
Just kind of wholesome family books that you can read to your small kids or that they can use to learn to read as well, with nice family messages. Really looking to capitalize off of the Berenstain Bears because I don't think
Yeah.
they can trademark both names.
They probably there might be a law against that. If you've been persecuted under the same name, you can't be persecuted under a different name.
That's so true.
That's
Evan?
so true. Yeah.
Do you have anything you'd like to plug?
I have two things.
Two
Technically
things.
But here's I'm gonna give you
Three.
I'm gonna give you an option.
Okay.
You can have one just idea for something I'm trying to get going. The huge.
Okay.
Or I've got two bad jokes. Would you like to just hear two bad jokes? Or
Yes,
would you
I
like
would.
to hear my business? Okay.
No,
You ready?
I would like to hear two bad jokes.
We know George Washington could not lie. Do you think he also liked big butts?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I heard a little giggle. You didn't want to give it, but there it was. Second, this isn't even a joke. This is just the perfect thing to, like when you're at a urinal and you're standing next to someone. Some people like, "Hey, how's your day going?" And you're like, "That's awful."
Yeah.
I came up with the perfect thing to say at the urinal. So you can start a conversation now, which will shut down conversation.
I love it.
Water, water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. Am I right?
You are. You are right.
That's all. That was just popped into me the other day, and I liked it.
Yeah.
I wanted to share them.
Feel like I just got gooped.
You've been gooped.
Okay, bye.
Okay, I'm just procrastinating a little bit. And okay, bye.